Ippon Seoi is a good throw, and I'm really going to get in depth with it, because it's a throw that if you can understand the principles of what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve, you can really get good at it really quickly and start throwing a stack of people. So with Ippon Seoi, we want to start with a basic lapel and sleeve grip like that we've been talking about, okay? And my opponent's going to be standing square, okay? So they're square. Now what I'm looking at doing is I must break my opponent's balance. So to do that, I step forward and lift this up. I don't worry about pulling with this arm. I find that if I pull with this arm, I've got to do this and then this, and it's too hard. So I open with this left hand and I step forward around about a foot away from his foot, and I'm going to pivot on it. So I'm on this toe, pivoting on this foot, and this arm's lifting up quite high. And the reason why you lift it up and over-exaggerate is because I need to fit my body in this gap. This is where I need to go. Here. Up and over. So I'll show again. So Ippon Seoi, what I want to start with, stepping. Stepping. You know when your opponent's off balance when they're coming up on their toes, or when their toes turn white. That's when you know that your opponent's off balance. Okay? So I step forward and pull. Step forward and pull. And get this rhythm. After a while, the next day you re-delt, your muscles in your back of your shoulder should be sore from pulling your opponent off balance. Pull forward. Now this first step is so important. It's your level changer. You've always heard your coach or sensei say, bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees. And you find that sometimes you come in for throws and then you bend your knees. Well, it's too long. You should be bending your knee. This first step is the leveler. It determines how low your entire technique's going to be. This one. So if I come in with this leg straight, my whole technique's, it's not going to work. I need to come in low. So to come in low, I'm already bending that knee. That's my level decider, you could call it. Okay? So open, and I'm bending. He's off balance, he's up on his toes. From here, I want to get my elbow into his armpit as I pivot. Okay? Now with my feet, you notice that my head's up and back straight. I'm not here. And you also notice that this hand is back a bit. It's not in front of me, it's quite loose on the back of his bicep here. I want to get it back. This is pulling down, that's pulling up. One. This is entering as the back step comes in. See how it's back a little bit? It's not here, it's not next to me, it's behind me. My knees are bent and my back straight. And my feet are in between his feet. One. You notice where that first foot is? It's not all the way out here. It's not all the way in his center line, it's about there. And I'm giving a bit of room to move. If I come too close, I can't pull him off balance. One. I'm on the ball of the foot. Two. I've pivoted, my head's up. I'm facing the same way my opponent is. This is pulling down, this is pushing up. Knees are bent in a good position. Okay? I'm not getting knock-kneed. Some people, some Japanese like to be pointing a little bit that way. I sometimes try to do this, but I really would rather just be forward. There. When I lift, I then throw and I try to bring my right hand down past my left knee. That's actually where I want to be. Pulling up and off balance, pivoting in, and I turn and rotate in that direction with this shoulder. Again, Tilly. You notice that when I'm coming in, I'm not coming so close to knock my opponent on balance, and I'm going to get thrown here. I need to give room to move. I need to give him room to be off balance. Without room to be off balance, he's going nowhere. Step. One, and you can practice this for all your throws, but for Seoi in particular, pivot, bending and then pulling up to support my opponent to finish the technique. Let's do one more. Your feet have to be in between his feet, your opponent. They can't be here. They can't be here. It's a 𝗦𝗘𝗗𝗦𝗢 and a bad one at that. It must be in here, like you're at the gym doing squats. Head up, back straight, feet are there. Head up, back straight, your bum back. It's exactly the same with Ippon Seoi. Pulling, pulling, 1. Pivoting. The knees are already bent. This is pushing up, this is pulling down. Bending the knees, rotating up and over. So guys, that's the first module of Ippon Seoi. It's important to remember. Back of the elbow. Pulling up extremely high, making sure he's on his toes each and every time. Okay, and it'll take some time to get used to. Second of all, the first foot, I must be pivoting on it. On the ball of my foot, it must be bent. This hand that comes through, it's not in front of me, it's behind. Like I'm going to hit a tennis racket. And I'm about to hit it with a ball with a tennis racket. It's back a bit, that tightens it up and he can feel it. Here it's a bit loose, there it's quite tight. This is pulling down across my body. Rotate this way. This is pulling down across my body. This is pushing up. The knees are bent, head up, back straight. Both my feet are in between his feet. They're not out wide. They're in between. I bend the knees and rotate up and over. So guys, there's the basics of Ippon Seoi. 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗘𝗦 Seoi is exactly the same. We're just going to grip from a lot lower on the lapel in order to get my elbow underneath. So 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗘𝗦 Seoi, you're grabbing quite low on the lapel, not high because you can't fit your elbow in. Quite low, and everything is exactly the same. Push this through, and you've got the throw. And if you want to do another variation, you can do an 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗘𝗦 Seoi, which is you get a one-sided grip, and everything is exactly the same. 1, elbow goes in, and finish the technique. So there's 3 techniques. All the principles are the same. Breaking up the balance, pulling him upward off balance, and things like that. So really work on your Seoi. Remember, that first step is the leveler. It determines how low you're going to get with your Seoi, and that's really important.